Take a close look at that spray bottle in your hand. There is a reason why the word danger is printed in bold red letters. There is a reason why the instructions tell you to wear gloves and a mask just to touch it. It is poison. And yet, every single spring, an $80 billion marketing machine grinds into gear with one singular goal: to convince you to spray this toxic chemical right where your children and pets play. What is the target of this chemical warfare? It is all to destroy a single enemy: a tiny, yellow flower. But here is the cruel irony. The very enemy you are spending money to kill is actually the most powerful liver support that nature has ever designed. We are literally buying poison to kill the medicine. It is perhaps the most perfect and devastating business scam in history. But there is a secret that the chemical industry has kept buried for over 70 years. This plant is not a weed. It never was. And the white milky sap flowing through its stem holds a biological key that, if you know how to use it, means you might never need to buy expensive detox supplements again. Today, take off the gas mask. I am going to expose this $80 billion lie. I am going to show you how to turn the nuisance on your lawn into the most valuable medicine cabinet in your kitchen. In the next few minutes, you are going to discover exactly why the Pilgrims on the Mayflower would rather have left behind their gold than leave behind the seeds of this so-called weed. You will see through the historical manipulation that turned a survival superfood into public enemy number one. You will discover the fascinating biological mechanism that allows this root to cleanse your liver more effectively than almost any synthetic alternative, all while retaining the precious potassium that standard diuretic drugs strip away from your body. You will master 3 ancient processing methods to utilize every single millimeter of this plant. You will learn to turn the roots into a rich coffee alternative, the leaves into a nutrient-dense salad, and the flowers into a golden honey substitute. More importantly, I will teach you how to distinguish it from the toxic imposters hiding in your garden right now. And finally, you will learn the secret of the lazy gardener. I will show you how to own a perpetual, self-watering, self-regenerating pharmacy that does not cost you a single penny to maintain. And I will prove all of this to you in the next 13 minutes. Let us travel back in time to the year 1620. A battered wooden ship named the Mayflower is dropping anchor off the freezing coast of Massachusetts. The Pilgrims are stepping onto the shore of a harsh new world. They brought only their most essential possessions to build a new life. And tucked away in their luggage, guarded as carefully as their Bibles, were small brown seeds. These were dandelion seeds. That is right. The dandelion is not native to America. Our ancestors brought it here on purpose. To them, this was not a weed. It was known as Dandelion, or the lion's tooth. It was a mandatory survival crop used to prevent scurvy, to purify the blood, and to keep people alive when the harvests failed. They cleared forests and tilled the earth just to plant it. But the more important and darker story happened 330 years later. It was the 1950s. America was entering the golden age of industrialization. Chemical corporations had just finished developing powerful herbicides like 2,4-D after the war, and they needed a market to sell them to. But how do you sell a weed killer if people do not hate the weeds? They decided to manufacture a fake enemy. Through a massive, coordinated advertising campaign, they redefined the American dream. A happy home was now defined by a lawn that was flat, artificial, and absolutely green. Yellow was no longer allowed. Overnight, the savior of 1620 was branded as public enemy number one. From a vegetable that appeared on every dinner table, It became the target of chemical warfare in our own backyards. And that is when we started to forget. We forgot that the very thing we are killing is the very thing our bodies need the most. Now let us talk about the science behind this ancient wisdom. Why is a wild plant stronger than the vegetables you buy at the grocery store? First, we must address the taste. Many people dislike the bitterness of the leaves. That is a mistake. That bitterness comes from a compound called sesquiterpene lactones. The moment your tongue tastes that bitterness, an electrical signal shoots straight down to your liver with a command to activate immediately. The liver begins to pump bile to flush out accumulated toxins. Imagine your liver is a vacuum filter clogged with dust. The dandelion is the auto-clean button. But the real miracle happens in the kidneys. This presents the greatest paradox in modern medicine. Most synthetic diuretic pills, or water pills, work by flushing water out of your body. But in doing so, they also strip away potassium, a mineral that is critical for your heart health. The dandelion is different. It is one of the only herbs in nature that is a powerful diuretic, yet it is also packed full of potassium. It replaces exactly what it takes away. It is a perfect biological balance that no laboratory has ever been able to replicate. And do not forget those jagged leaves that you mow over. Data from the USDA, the United States Department of Agriculture, reveals something shocking. Compared to spinach, which we consider the king of greens, dandelion leaves contain more iron. Compared to carrots, they contain more vitamin A. They even have more calcium than milk by weight. We are spending a fortune on synthetic multivitamins while simultaneously spraying poison on a superfood that grows for free right outside our front door. This is the most critical part of our journey. How do you distinguish the true gold from the fool's gold in a sea of green weeds? First, look down at the ground. A true dandelion does not grow tall on a branched stem. Its leaves grow outward from the base in a rosette pattern, hugging the earth. Look closely at the edges of the leaves. They have deep, sharp, triangular cuts pointing backward toward the center. This specific jagged shape is what gave the plant its legendary name, the tooth of the lion. The second sign is the touch test. Run your finger over the surface of the leaf. A true dandelion leaf must be smooth, cool, and absolutely hairless. If you feel a rough texture like a cat's tongue, or if you see fine, fuzzy hairs, throw it away immediately. That is not what we are looking for. Next, pick a flower stem. The stem must be smooth, shiny, and most importantly, it must be hollow inside like a straw. The moment you break that stem, look for the final confirmation. A milky white sap should ooze out immediately from the break. This is the medicinal latex that the ancients used. And if you were to dig it up, you would find a single massive taproot. It has dark brown skin but a stark white interior, anchoring deep into the earth. But here is a serious safety warning. The biggest impostor of the dandelion is a plant called Catsear, often known as false dandelion. They have yellow flowers that look nearly identical. But remember this survival mantra. The dandelion is bald and hollow. The impostor Catsear has hairy leaves and a solid, wiry stem. Catsear will not kill you, but it lacks the medicinal magic we need. Do not waste your time with the fake. Now we arrive at the moment you have been waiting for. You know it is valuable, but how do you harvest this gold mine correctly? Method number 1 is the detox salad. Do not overcook these greens, as high heat destroys the vitamin C. Eat the young leaves raw. Here is a pro tip. Harvest the leaves in early spring before the plant flowers. At this stage, the bitterness is very mild crisp and fresh like high-end arugula. If you find it too bitter, soak the leaves in salt water for 15 minutes. But remember, that bitterness is the switch that activates your liver, so do not try to remove it completely. Method number 2 is poor man's coffee. This was the secret that kept soldiers alert during the Civil War. Do not throw the roots away. Scrub them clean, chop them into small pieces, and roast them in the oven at 400 degrees Fahrenheit until they turn a dark chocolate brown and smell rich and nutty. Grind them up and brew them just like drip coffee. The result is a dark, bold, nutty beverage that looks and tastes like coffee, but has zero caffeine. It provides pure energy from minerals, not the borrowed nervous energy from caffeine. You will feel alert without the afternoon crash. Finally, let us decode the secret of the white sap I mentioned at the start. Method number 3 is the biological scalpel. This latex is not for eating, it is for topical use. It has a natural alkalinity and unique properties that folk medicine has used for centuries. It acts like a mild, organic caustic agent. People have traditionally applied it directly to warts or skin tags. By patiently applying it twice a day for a few weeks, the imperfection dries up and falls off naturally. No lasers, no chemicals. A tiny surgical procedure provided by nature, completely free of charge. There is an ancient philosophy that the best gardeners have always known. Nature does not create waste. Only humans fail to see the use. If you want a perpetual source of food, the dandelion is the uncrowned king. This is the only crop you do not need to buy, and you do not need to sow. It finds you. Its power lies in that massive taproot which can drill down up to 10 feet deep. While your tomato plants wither in a drought, the dandelion stays lush and green because it is drinking water from deep soil layers that no vegetable can reach. It is nature's free nutrient pump. Here is the secret to lazy gardening. Do not let it grow on the compacted soil of your driveway unless you want to break your back digging it up. Give it a soft bed. Loosen a small patch of soil. Blow a white puffball of seeds onto it, and then forget about it. No watering, no fertilizer. Come autumn, that loose soil will yield massive, straight roots as thick as your thumb. But listen to this warning. This plant is a master of invasion. A single old flower turns into a white globe containing 200 parachute seeds. One gentle breeze, and next year it will take over your entire garden. Your neighbors will hate you. The solution is simple. Use the strategy of sweet sterilization. Harvest the flowers while they are still bright yellow to make honey or fritters. Never let them turn white. Eat the flowers, and you control the kingdom. We have spent the last century fighting a war against nature, only to realize that the enemy we tried to destroy was actually our greatest benefactor. You now hold the power to see through the $80 billion lie. You know how to turn roots into energy, leaves into liver support, and a terrifying invasion into a perpetual food source. Your lawn is no longer just dead grass. It is a living pharmacy. And this knowledge now belongs to you. But our journey to rediscover ancient wisdom does not stop here. The dandelion is the king of internal detox. But what happens if you are injured? What if you are bleeding or suffer a nasty insect sting from the outside? Imagine you are gardening and you get a deep cut, or a bee stings you. The dandelion cannot help you there. But there is a silent bodyguard that often grows right next to it, a plant you likely step on every single day. The Romans called it the bandage of the gods. It has the ability to stop bleeding and draw out venom faster than almost any modern first aid kit you can carry. In the next video, I will reveal its identity. Subscribe to Ancient Grow Methods so you do not miss it. Because the most powerful medicines are usually hiding right beneath the soles of your boots.